Today I'm getting fit for a putter, and it's the most important thing you can do for your game, so make sure you watch to see how easy the process is and what type of putter was right for me.
So what I'm doing here is just lining up the sensors to make sure this is a square setup.
Yeah, so Sam's just registering what you do through the impact zone, that 6 to 8 inches at contact point. It doesn't care if there's a hole down there, it just registers what your consistencies are. At the end of the day, you just have to be consistent. Let's see what you do through the stroke.
And you would say you classify yourself as a pretty decent putter overall?
Yeah,
okay.
I would say.
Okay, excellent. If anything, you like to push a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So, first off, set up where your eyes are falling, everything, arm hang, all that stuff's fantastic. So, the only thing I would say is you might have been reaching for a little bit of real estate on that grip, but it wasn't anything that was affecting. So, at the end of the day, you just have to be consistent.
Yep.
So, at address, you actually line up pretty darn square.
Okay.
Point one open. You do it 93% of the time.
All right.
Pretty solid. You never make or miss a putt at the aim because there's all eye dominance, there's all sorts of stuff.
Right.
What happens when the putter goes into motion, you're point three closed.
Yeah.
So you like to really shut that club face down. So face to path is actually open, but you actually do come through slightly closed 44% of the time. So it's kind of a coin toss. Now that could be predicated off that you think that you're more of a push putter, so you're trying to flip that club. Who knows? There's a lot of factors over there. That's one thing I did notice. Your impact position kind of gets a little squirrely. Your backspin ratio is fantastic, but where you're hitting that club on the face itself is a little, overall it's decent, but those ones that get on the toe, I think those are the ones that really would probably produce that 0.3 shut face. When you get into a higher MOI putter, it's all about stability. So this is a face balance. So face balanced, how they achieve that, it's all the relationship for how the shaft orients itself in the center of the club. So even though this is a single bend, that shaft actually goes right through the center. So more times than not, when you see this single, or some people call it double bend, it's gonna be a face balance situation. So when you have that tendency to hit on the toe with a higher MOI putter, if I tap that, it's gonna have a little deflection. MOI putters are that's why you see a lot of tour players go into them, because even those guys want a little bit more forgiveness on the hiccup. So you're not getting hit that bad off of here, but that's definitely something we need to clean up. Your swing ratio is fantastic. Like I said, you have some really good numbers here. Here's another thing I saw. So at the start of your forward swing, which is what, about 4 inches, you're actually 0.5 closed. So you start relatively neutral, point one open. You're 0.5 closed at the start of your backswing, and you just pull it straight through. So yes, to answer your question, we were talking a second ago, you are pretty much a straight back, straight forward putter. This is the reason you do that, and you just bring it straight back through. We're gonna work on that, and you do it 83% of the time, so you're very consistent about how you do it. So symmetry is fantastic, because 0.5 to 0.3, when you look in the mirror, they're pretty solid 90% of the time. Tempo is fantastic. So you add about a full degree. So any given putter, like I said, I think probably upwards in the probably mid to high 90s of amateur golfers out there have the wrong amount of loft on their putter itself.
Yeah.
So you add about a full degree of putt. All that means is you let the club head get ahead of your hands. Not a bad thing, not a good thing, it's just a micro thing. So when you do that, you also have almost 2 degrees of rise. So your putter is also moving this way. So anytime you have a loft with a motion, you're gonna have a ballistic launch. So this ball is actually covering about 2 to 3 inches on the launch, but because you're rise and adding that little bit of loft, it's actually coming off slightly back.
Interesting.
So Bermuda grass, bent greens, things like that, when you have a little bit of grain going on, even though it's only covering about 2 inches, 3 inches in the air, that little bit can hit a millimeter here, 15 feet down the lane, that's a lip out. So we'll get the right amount of loft appropriate for you. Dynamics are awesome. Timing's fantastic. Your rhythm is really good. So you have a pretty good arc going on there. Again, all the consistencies are high. Swing direction to the left, we already know why, because you like to pull that club face shut, and then you like to pull it straight through shut. Yeah, your pivot point's right at the top of your head, so you're actually a very stable putter. So that's the higher MOI head is what it wants you in.
So does that mean more of a face balance?
Face balance or slight toe hang.
Okay.
So it's gonna give both options, because you are very stable there in what you do. Sometimes we're gonna try a little bit of a toe hang, a little 30-degree toe hang, just to see if we can get a little bit of flow. Because what you do from here to here, your symmetry is fantastic.
Okay.
If we can get that slightly to have a little bit more flow, then we might be able to square that club face up a little more efficiently.
Cool.
It's hard to manipulate a lot of toe hang off of these. Again, it's all how they can orient the shaft and centeredness, but this 15 to 20 can theoretically play as much as a 45, of a bladier style. We're just gonna run this through with a little bit of toe hang, see what changes. Gave us this face balance situation.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we found out of the face balance situation is you were a guy who, again, a decent putter, but you would start your putter and you would actually close it, and then you just return it straight through. So by going, manufacturer call it a flow neck, but again, we're just taking the centerness and just throwing it just a little inside, which gives us a little bit of toe hang. Nothing crazy dramatic there, but what that allows you to do is get a little bit of freedom to your rotation of your putter.
Yeah.
Which will actually, it'll help you get that putter back to square at the end of the day. So you're definitely gonna be slight toe hang putter.
What's cool about this is that once you get fit for the right style of putter, you can pretty much pick any brand that you want. So for me, I went with the Scotty Cameron Phantom X 5.5. It's got that slight toe hang that I was looking for, and I'm a really big fan of Scotty Camerons. Again, huge shout out to the PGA Tour Superstore for having me out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.